How you doing, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another video. In this video we're going to be doing a rect ring pour using this comb right here. The colors we're going to be using are a deep red from Artist Loft, silver, neon yellow, and phthalo blue. I'm going to be doing two separate ring pour cups with those colors already mixed, and I'm going to be mixing the hot colors in one cup and the cooler colors in another cup. The pouring medium that I used for this is a mixture of 70% PVA glue and 30% water. And with that, we're gonna get right up into it. Paint is very thick. So that PVA school glue, I found when I try to do a rect ring pour, it holds up a lot better than the Floetrol does, just because it's a little bit thicker. It leaves a little bit less room for mistakes. And the colors, they bind together better. So now I'm gonna start actually taking some of this off the edge. I think I'm gonna start with this red side over here, because then when I stretch it back to the other side, it will flow better. And it will actually stretch out that red color, because I don't want the blue and silver to take over the entire painting. Another good thing about the PVA school glue is the colors can't mix as much, so they tend to not get muddy, I've found. Take this blue down to the corner down here. Once it gets to this edge, I'm going to try to help it along a little bit. And then we will take it down to this bottom corner. You can see how reflective that silver is in there. The silver's looking really nice. And once we get this where we want it, then we can stretch it just a little bit to get everything where we want it to be. Alright, so we still need to get this to come down to the bottom edge down there. Alright, and we'll try to keep that line going down the center. Like I was saying, this stuff is so thick that it's hard to get it to move at this point, just because there's the paint is just so thick. So we're gonna help it cover these edges a little bit because it's gonna continue to flow over the sides of the canvas. But if you have a dry canvas, it won't be flowing very much at all over these spots. So you do want to fix these parts without any coverage. Well, that's really gorgeous. Beautiful. Alright, now we're gonna use this to wreck it. Now as you see, like, there's a whole bunch of areas that if this was a Floetrol medium, these reds and silvers in the very center line here, these yellows, they would have already started blending with the other colors around it. But since we're not using that medium, we don't have that to worry about. So there are some surface bubbles that I do want to pop. It's one of the negatives about using the school glue is since it is thick, even if you stir it gently, you're still going to have bubbles. If you want to totally avoid bubbles, the best way I could tell you to do that is to mix your paints the day prior. But I typically am a pretty spontaneous person when it comes to this kind of painting and art. I mix my colors the day of in paint. So what I want to do with this is I want to drag some of that blue down into this red, and then vice versa. Go figure, I had forgotten my paper towels. Alright, so like I said, we're going to swipe it through this red color. Now you don't want to swipe too hard because it is PVA and glue, so it is a lot thicker than what you're used to using. So slight drag should be enough to kind of get it where you want it. And then I'm going to take this one and kind of zigzag it. Now one thing that you should note though is if you do make your colors too thick, those lines and beads in the paint, they're not going to come back together, or when it dries they're going to find a way to separate. So that is one thing to worry about. So this is looking fantastic. I love the little tiny striations and lines, so we're gonna take you in for a close-up so you can get a better look at this. But I love it. Looks great.